This is M7, lesson 4-1, page 169. Okay. I'm going to start by taking a picture of one of the diagrams in your book. And we're going to add it to this. Will someone turn the lights on, please, so I have a nice... Well, Well, I kind of want to rotate it. Hang on. Let's try this again. Oh, it's a scary thought here. Okay, there you go. This is a section from your text. A variable is a symbol that represents one or more numbers, and they are oftentimes written in algebraic expressions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, algebraic expressions. What does the word algebraic mean? Yeah. It's got letters in it. You could even say the alphabet's algebraic. It's just got 26 awesome letters in it. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, boom, shakalaka. You've been doing algebra for a long time. Okay, so it just means there's letters involved. And yes, this is where the world of English and mathematics kind of come together. Now, there are different phrases. Take a look here. A temperature of T degrees increased by 5 degrees. What does the word increase usually mean? We're going to do what? Okay, it's going to get larger. There are typically, ladies and gentlemen, only 4 operations that you are going to have to use in a math problem. There are 4. They're identified here. What are they? There are 4 operations, the mathematical operations. These you've been learning since kindergarten and 1st grade. Yes, Gabby. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So you have 4, ladies and gentlemen, 4 different operations, and based on how they word the sentence that you're working with will depend on how you pick that expression. All your homework is tonight is to take a sentence and convert it into an expression. That's what you're doing tonight. You're going to read a sentence, and you're going to pull out the pieces, and you're going to convert it into an expression. So we need to look at words that are key here. A temperature of T degrees increased. Okay, if I increased by 3 inches, what have I done? Subtracted myself 3 inches? Multiplied myself by 3 inches? Multiplied means that I'm going to end up with 150 times 3. That would be 300 and some odd inches. That means I would be well above the ceiling. Okay, if I got taller by 3 inches, did I multiply by 3 inches? Am I now taller than the ceiling? No. I'm not subtracting. I'm not dividing myself by 3 inches. See how many 3 inches go in me? Increase means to add. So if I zoom in on this word increased, okay, this word right here literally means to add. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead. That word right there is our indicator that we're adding. What about the next sentence? 5 cats fewer than sea cats. What is the key word here that represents the operation? Caitlin? Fewer, right? Fewer represents which operation? Which operation? Anna? Yeah, because I'm taking away. I have fewer. I have less. So fewer, less than, also. The word less could also imply subtraction. So fewer implies, I'm going to write it so it doesn't, because sometimes the symbol gets construed. Okay, implies subtraction. What about this word product? This is a key word right below there, Macy. Oh yeah, that word product has been around a very long time, and product always is an indicator of multiplication. Okay. A dinner bill of $D divided among 5 friends. Now, this one's a little tricky, ladies and gentlemen. The word's kind of hidden there. It starts with div and ends with I did. Okay? Yeah, Hannah? Yeah, divided. I know. I know. Kind of hidden in plain sight. It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Okay, maybe that's not a very good example. Where's Jackson? Yeah, exactly. Wow, at least we think so. So, I'm going to use purple for this one. Divided. And since the division symbol is very unique, I'm going to go ahead and put it there. So when you're reading a sentence, the words are going to tell you which operation to use. I will tell you that addition and multiplication are the easy ones. Subtraction and division are the ones where order matters. Okay, how you set it up matters. So I am going to tell you right here now to make a little note for yourself off to the side that for subtraction, order matters. And the same thing for division, order matters. Well, what I mean by that, Parker, is no, I'm going to explain it because I think it's a good question. 1 plus 5 is the same thing as 5 plus 1. They both equal 6. 1 divided by 5 is definitely not the same thing as 5 divided by 1. See, so division, it depends on which one you start with and which one you're dividing by. Add multiplication, 5 times 1, 1 times 5. You both get 5 as an answer. But in subtraction, it's definitely different. In subtraction, if you take 1 minus 5, you get negative 4. If you take 5 minus 1, you get positive 4. So in subtraction and division, the order of how you set up the expression matters. Whereas in addition and subtraction, it doesn't really matter. And that actually goes back to our properties of integers. These, what I'm actually referring to is the associative property, where you can actually, or not the associative property, excuse me, the commutative property, where you can just flip numbers in addition and multiplication. Yeah. Multiplication, it doesn't matter. So yeah, 1 times 5 and 5 times 1 are the same. 1 divided by 5 is 1/5. 5 divided by 1 is 5. They're very different. Very different. One is, okay. Now look at, yeah, you are. Look at the way that they do this, okay? Look at the way that they set this up. In addition, they're saying you have t here, and you're going to add on 5. Okay, so you have t, you add on 5. Here, it's saying you have c, and you are subtracting 5. You're getting rid of everything on this side so that you're left with only the small little portion, which is the question mark. Hello? I can, thanks. Indeed. Now, in multiplication, when you put letters next to each other, that usually means we're multiplying. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 n's next to each other, okay, what does that usually indicate? You have 5 n's, you have 5 times n. You have 5 times n. Here's what I'm going to do. Lexi, if I plug a 2 in here for n, okay, then I'd have 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. Okay? How many 2's would I have? I'd have 5 of them. And if I added all of those 2's up, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, what do I get? I get 10. That's the same thing as taking a 2 and multiplying it 5 times. That's where the idea of 5n comes from. 5 times 2 is also 10. The other one here, which is a little weird, division's always the hardest to understand, is if you take d and you divide it by 5, basically you're taking d and you're dividing it into 5 equal pieces. All of them are going to be smaller than the original piece. Okay? So it's kind of like taking a pie and dividing it into 5 equal slices. Not my favorite. I prefer a whole pie, but some people, sometimes you got to share. So if I have d and I divide by 5, I have 5 equal pieces. Yep. All right, so these are the ways that we write expressions. And this really just takes practice. What do you notice about each of these things here? Are we focusing on any equals right now? By the way, that was all K-Money, just so you know. So for the sake of this recording, please note that on November the 5th, 2014, K-Money came into my classroom at 2:25 and brought the thunder. Now that she's gone, it was terrifying. Okay. All right. Do we kind of understand, do we kind of understand how this works, ladies and gentlemen? That you can basically break down a sentence and figure out the different pieces, okay? Let's go ahead and look at some examples for your homework, okay? Some examples from your homework. And if we don't get through them, then we'll have to make sure, do our best here. Why is number 2 subtraction? Isabella? Okay. So yeah, this word fewer tells us that we're working with subtraction. How do we know that number 3 is addition? Yeah. It says increased, and we know that is a key word for addition. Okay? Now, you don't know the answers to 4, 5, and 6, but let's do number 4 together. You need to write a word phrase that represents W minus 3. Give me an example of what this might think. Yeah. Okay, no, but you can't use the words minus in here. You got to use something else. So use the word fewer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there it is. That was really good, by the way. 3 fewer watermelons. So if I were to go up to you and say, man, I have 3 fewer watermelons than what I started with. I had 3 fewer watermelons. That means I literally have 3 less than watermelons. I have lost 3. I have had them subtracted from my total. What about 5 times W here? The product of 5 Walmarts, the product of 5 washing machines, these would all be good. So it's not as easy as knowing the operation. What did they do here? The product of 5 and N nickels. So here's what we could do. We could say the product of 5 and W Walmarts. Okay? The product of 5 and W Walmarts. Let's say 12 plus W. This could be Walter grew 12 inches. And, oh, this is a good one. Walnut pie Needs to be divided into 4 pieces. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, your homework.